So we'll start off with our warming up with the news. Here we go. I just got to turn that off here. So yeah, I know you probably have people in your household will be listening in here as they're doing your warming up, but it's always a good idea to do this before we have to hit some high notes. Here we go. Let's do an octave jump and then come down on. I'm gonna start us off a little lower though. Let's start off a little bit lower, work our way up. Doesn't help that I just came from dinner here right away, so my voice is a little bit crackly here, and I'm sure after not doing a lot of singing regularly, yours is too, probably. Let's talk about remember. We'll start off with that one tonight. Did anybody have any comments or questions or concerns about this one as we were working on it this week? Do we have any sections that gave you any trouble? Anything you want to review before we just come out of the gates? Okay. I'm hearing a resounding no's. Is that about right? Either that or my mute is on. Okay. All right. So last week I called everybody's attention to the triplets to make sure we have those triplet rhythms in between the beats. Bum, 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 bum. You want to keep those all nice and even. Seemed to me there was some places that we needed to watch our half notes on. If we turn to page 8, where we go into that little section where we split up into parts, the sopranos have the melody, and the rest of us have this harmony part that's got the triplet pulse, bum, 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 for 2 beats. And we want to make sure we're all ending. One thing I have noticed about the last recording, as far as making sure we're ending all together, ending our words all together, that's something we can really pay close attention to. And this song happens all the time. So be really careful when you're listening to those recordings. Since we don't have anybody needing to hear a section, how about we just take it from the top? We'll sing it through once, give you a chance to, to mark anything that you want to hear again, and then we'll we'll do it again. So let's just take it from the beginning, right from the very, very top. Whoops. And make sure you let me know if the recording isn't sounding right on your end.
1, 2, 3, 4, clap.
Whoops. Sorry, everybody. I got to pay closer attention to which window is open. All right. Here we go. Try that again.
1, 2, 3, 4, clap. An upper room, a simple place, a table in a quiet space, a cup of wine, a loaf of bread, a prayer before the Savior said, I offer you bread, I offer you wine, I soon offer up this life that is mine. Remember me then, remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you.
Ladies, piano, nice soft.
A broken loaf, an empty cup, a feast complete, the hour was up. A simple hymn, a sad refrain, His words return again and again. I offer you bread, I offer you wine, I soon offer up this life that is mine. Remember me then, remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you.
Just watch your half notes here.
I offer you bread, I offer you bread, I offer you wine, I offer you wine, I soon offer this life that is mine. Remember me then, remember me then, remember this too, remember this too, remember to serve as I have served you. Remember to serve as I have served you.
Okay, so how do we do?
Could I just hear like from measure 29 to 32?
Measure
The alto part.
29 to 32.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Let's take everybody out of the mix except for the altos. Okay, I'm actually going to start right at 25.
Remember this too.
little section? Let's take that again. I'll do that section right there one more time.
Remember this time. Remember to serve as I have served you.
I'm guessing the part that you're wanting to hear is that. Is that it?
Yeah, just the B flat to the B natural to a C.
Whoops.
Yep, that's good.
Yep, sure thing. Anybody
How
else?
how about
Yeah.
basses at 40 to 42?
Okay, basses at 40 through 42. Okay, so let me find that here in my music. 38, 39, 40. Oh, right there. Oh, let's see, that's not right. A simple hymn, a sad refrain is what's written again and again. That part right there at the page turn. All right, let me do that again, and then I'll put in the I'll just have that go with the recording. Okay, so I'll just plunk that out for you again. A simple hymn, a sad refrain is once written again and again. Sorry about that. It's once written again and again. Let's see what that sounds like here with a recording.
For him, a sad refrain is what's written again and again.
I'll do that again. I'm going to start a measure before that because we have a pickup note.
A simple hymn, a sad refrain is what's written again and again.
All right. Did that help out?
Yep, that helped. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, hey, Larry,
Yes.
as long as you're working on the bases, can we try it from 62 to 71?
62 to 71. Sure. Let me just take a look at what you've got in there. Okay. So we have the melody leading us off. Whoops. Oh, then we change tonality. So yes, that presents a little challenge at the top of the next page where we change tonality. So again, at measure 62, I offer you bread. I offer you wine. I offer what is mine. Now we're using the top row of words, right? So we're all following that. Okay. And then it goes on. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you. So that last phrase at the top of, or bottom of page 9. Then we have to get off that really quick. Now Measure 71 basses, we've got that G sharp. So listening to that, gotta listen pretty close. Right there. Remember me then. So we don't want to get too high on that G sharp. Remember me then. And in the melody, you're going to hear that F sharp too. It's going to be something to listen for. All right. Why don't we take that one?
Can you do the tenors at the same place?
Sure thing. Before I do that, though, let me give the guy, the basses, a chance to hear that with the accompaniment. Starting right there at 62. Where is that? Okay. So, yes, 62, starting with the ladies' entrance. Okay, basses. How did that help out? Yep, some of these little sections, you know, they've got accidentals in there, the extra sharps and that, and you know, those are the parts to pay attention to. Now, are you, Tom, you talking about the same part for the tenors?
Yes, sir.
Same section. Okay. So, same deal. You've got the sopranos leading us in. To stop it right there. So the bottom of page 8, you've got you're hitting the C sharp. I offer you wine, and you're landing on the B, natural. Okay, the next phrase, you're going right to that B flat. So not much of a pitch difference. So at the bottom of the page, I offer you wine. Rest. I offer you wine. Off to 1. Oh, sorry about that. I offer up what is mine. Same place, the bottom of the previous page. I offer you wine. Rest, rest, rest. I offer up what is mine. And ladies, continue. So you got a big jump there, tenors. Remember, start at measure 71 at the bottom of page 9. Rest. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember to serve. So you're going all the way from to remember. And you'll see the little comma mark in there. That's a good place to take a quick little catch breath, a little break. Makes it easier to get from that high note to that low note. To remember. It'll set you up for that phrase. Okay, let's have a listen to that now with the track. So same place. Let's start at measure 62. All right, and this time I'm just going to have the tenor part playing. tenors? Okay, good. Now let's go back to that same place. And this time I'm going to turn on the other voices. We'll have the basses on, we'll have the sopranos on, and the altos right there at measure 62. All right, let me just give you guys starting notes here. So, basses, tenors, altos. Those are your notes. And the sopranos start us off with a melody.
I offer you bread. I offer you bread. I offer you wine. I offer you wine. I soon offer. I offer mine. What is mine? Remember me then. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you.
So how do we do with all the parts added in there?
Well, the recording kind of crapped out when you started it. Then it came in. Yeah.
Did it come back in at all?
Yeah, it came back in after about 6 measures.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try this again. All right.
I offer you bread. I offer you bread. I offer you wine. I offer you wine. I soon offer. I offer mine. What is mine? Remember me then. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you. Remember to serve as I have served you.
Okay, we won't make you hold that. Okay. Was that better? Okay. Good. Any other sections? Sopranos or altos? Well, let's go ahead and take it from the beginning. Do it one more time all the way through here. And then then let's take it from the top here, the very tippy top.
1, 2, 3, 4. Clap.
Ladies.
An upper room, a simple place, a table in a quiet
That same level,
space,
guys.
a cup of wine, a loaf of bread, a prayer before the Savior said, I offer you bread, I offer you wine, I soon offer all this life that is mine. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you.
Nice piano energy.
A broken loaf, an empty cup, a feast complete, the hour was up. A simple hymn, a sad refrain, His words return again and again. I offer I soon offer up this life that is mine. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you. I offer you bread. I offer you bread. I offer you wine. I offer you wine. I soon offer. I offer this life what is mine. Remember me then. Remember me then. Remember this too. Remember this too. Remember to serve as I have served you. Remember to serve as I have served you.
And the one thing I want to point out about the decrescendo at the very end, don't observe that. Just keep it steady. Keep it steady. And if I need to put that decrescendo in when the whole choir is mixed, I'll do that at the very end. But as far as all those other dynamics go in the middle, try to observe those. I know you can't hear what other people are doing to measure yourself against it, but still go ahead and put that expression in there because it will work out. Maybe not 100% like we would expect it to in a live choral setting, but you know, it won't hurt, might help. I guess that's what my dad always used to say about just about everything. So, let's observe that and see what comes of it. So, what do you all think about this one for next Tuesday? Is it too soon?
Fine. It's fine with me.
We like pressure.
Fine with me.
Well, then let's put this one down for next week. So we'll hi there, Karen. I know that you're not able to join us until later on, but I do have the recording of this rehearsal, so you can catch the first half of the rehearsal when I post it tomorrow. We just went over Remember. And we're going to make this one due for next Tuesday night, which is, gosh, what is the date?
The 2nd.
The 2nd, February 2nd?
And it's 2 recordings.
Yes, this one is 2 recordings. Whoops. I'm
With white
hitting the
collar.
wrong keyboard.
The white collar.
With a white collar. Yes, that is correct. Yep, that is correct. Okay, so then let's move on to go to Dark Gethsemane. But yeah, let's do 2 recordings of this one each, so we get a nice full choir. We're just going to have piano, and I think there's a C instrument too. I'll have to get to Jerry and see if she's got that. And that'll be good. Then when we have a Holy Thursday piece kind of taken care of, and we can start looking at the other stuff. So let's go ahead and look at Go to Dark Gethsemane. Let's see here too. And unless anybody has any questions right off the bat with this one, let's just take it from the top. See if that doesn't stir our memories here a little bit for anything that we need to work on with it. Okay, a lot of rubato in this one, a lot of slowing down and coming back to tempo and that sort of thing. There's a lot of feeling to it. Pay attention to where those dynamics are. I'll try to point those out as we go along. Let's see. Nothing jumps out at me. Just the stuff that we've been talking about. So let's just see how well this one is put together here.
1, 2, 3, 4, clap.
And there's 2 measures intro. Here we go.
Go to dark Gethsemane. You who feel the tempter's power, your Redeemer's conflict see. Watch with him one bitter hour. Turn not from his griefs away. Learn of Jesus Christ to pray. Follow to the judgment hall. You the Lord of life arraigned. Oh, the wormwood and the gall. Oh, the pangs his soul sustained. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of him to bear the cross. Calvary's mournful mountain climb, there adoring at his feet, mark the miracle of time, God's own sacrifice complete. It is finished, hear him cry. It is finished, hear him cry. It is finished, hear him cry. Hear him cry. Learn of Jesus Christ to die. Learn of Jesus Christ to die.
Okay, trouble spots.
So the sopranos are supposed to sing the oohs, right? Or the, on
Okay.
one recording and then do that melody on another recording or what?
Yes. Sopranos, and I think I also said altos. So yeah, all ladies do. Everybody's doing 2 recordings. On one recording, you will do your part and the oohs, but on the other recording, instead of the oohs, do the melody on pages 4 and 5.
Can we review all the oohs,
Absolutely.
please?
Yep, starting on page 4. What measure is that? 13. Yep. Let me just play, I'm gonna isolate parts here. So let me just play the alto part right there to start with. So, let's see. I'm gonna back up a measure actually to the previous page, just a measure, so we can hear that go in. Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start right there where you start. Yeah, we got all kinds of counting in here. 1, 2, and 3, 4, hold. Dum. Starting right on pray. That's your downbeat. So here we go, altos. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pray.
Follow to thy judgment.
Right there we have a change of key. So if you're plunking your parts out on the piano, when we get to that double bar line where it says a tempo, make sure there's no flats. It's all white keys if you're plunking out, because that's we go into a major key there. I actually just missed that. Let's start there again at 13 again, altos. So it is 2, 3, 4. Pray. Tied.
Follow to thy judgment hall. To the Lord of life arraigned. Oh, the wormwood and the gall. Oh, the pangs his soul sustained. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of him to bear the cross.
I forgot to mute the solo part there, so sorry about that. Let's start up there at 25. Actually, I'm gonna start at 19, and it's gonna go on to Oh the Wormwood here.
Oh, the wormwood and the gall. Oh, the pangs his soul sustained.
Rest. Rest. Okay, so lots of counting in there, altos. It happens a lot in there. Let me put the vocal line back in, but I'm going to put the solo in just a little softer so your part is predominant. Starting again at that same place. Measure, well, let's start at 13 where this whole thing begins.
Pray.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Follow to thy judgment hall. To the Lord of life arraigned. Oh, the wormwood and the gall. Oh, the pangs his soul sustained. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of him to bear the
And then we go into the part where I'm sure you don't need to hear it. Did that help, altos?
Yeah, fine with me.
Okay, it's just a lot of counting and following along where the words are in the melody.
So Larry, just one question.
Yeah.
On measure 19, were you playing a B flat there?
Let's see.
Okay, That's B natural. Okay.
Yeah,
Right. It's B natural. Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. I bet there's probably others that would like to hear that part too, right? Starting on the ooze basses. I'm seeing some heads nodding. So why don't we take that with the basses? I'm going to leave the melody going just because, you know, that melody on there is a good reference point to help us keep track of where we are. Starting right at the top of the page, right on top of page 4. So you are singing pray. That's where you're landing on that previous phrase. Pray. Whoops. So it's, oh, got to get us on the right note here. Here we go. Pray. And right there, you've got a half note tied to a whole note. So 6 beats, you have to hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4, then up. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, almost 4. Oops, so we are in a different key there. I take that back. Take it again at the top of the page there, guys. On pray, pray, rest. One, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, the wormwood and the gall. So, guys, we are going all the way from down here on our ooh. Be prepared. That's a big jump. That's over an octave. That's yeah, that's a good 12th right there. Oh, the wormwood and the gall. Oh, the pangs his soul sustained. Then we're back to our oohs. 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3. So top of page 5. You've got a hold there for 7 beats. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, passing. 1, 2, 1, 2, hold 2, rest. Rest. Whoops, we changed vowels there, sorry. Starting at the 4/4 measure on the oohs. Rest. Rest. Then we're back to words. All right, let's try it with the accompaniment so you can hear it along with the solo part. So I'm starting at the top of page 4. Right on. There's our word pray that we ended up with on the previous phrase.
Pray. Follow to the judgment hall. The Lord of life reigns. The wormwood and the gall. All the pangs his soul sustained. Shall not suffering, shame, or loss, and of him to bear the
Rest. Rest. How are we doing out there, basses? Yeah? Okay, good. When you're at the top of page 5 and you're hearing the melody sing, shun not suffering, shame, or loss, when you hear that word loss, then your next beat is where you do that passing tone down on that B. So think about using loss as a landmark there. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Of him to he bear the cause. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea, a little landmark of where to lean into that B passing tone. How about the tenores? How are you guys doing in that section?
Oh, we should go through that.
Okay, we will. Let's do that. Same exact spot there. All right, so you're landing on the G. Whoops, actually, sorry, basses. I was giving you the wrong starting note there on pray. You guys were down here, but you probably knew that already. Tenors on pray, so it's pray to. So right there where you have the piano marking, right after that double bar line, your E is an E natural. So you're going to want to go to here, but you got to go here. So that measure before, measure 16, is and you help us set the new tonality right there. So right there on measure 16, right at the beginning of that measure. Then words. Oh, the wormwood and the gall, oh, the pangs is so sustained. Neat little move right there, tenors. It's a neat little move. You've got this chromatic thing on, soul sustained. Soul sustained. So kind of maybe mark that. You're all half steps there. Oh, the pangs. Let's start right there. And we'll go on. 2, 3, 4. Oh, the pangs is so sustained. Hold, rest. So you are holding on to notes as other people are moving. Let's start right at measure 29, right at the 4/4 measure with a rest on your ooh. I'm in the middle of the page here, right at 29. 2, 3, 4, rest. Rest. Then we're back to melody. That help out, tenors? Let's take it with a recording now, all right? And we'll give you the melody in the mix here, so you hear that. So starting right on pray, the top of page 4. And 2, 3, 4. Sorry about that. I totally blew what I told you to do. So we changed keys. Here we go. Pray again. 2, 3, 4. Pray. Follow to the judgment hall. You the Lord of life arranged. All the wormwood and the Okay. I've got to take a little listen here to something. I'm afraid I might have led you all astray with a note. 29. Let me just listen to that.
Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of him to bear the cross. Shun not suffering, shame, or loss. Learn of him to bear the cross.
Okay. Okay, so tenors. Here's what you need to know about measure 29. You see where it has the quarter note C tied to a whole note C? At one point, we decided that we were going to have you join the basses on the B. So you need to scratch out that tie, and you are going to be singing at that measure rest. 2, 3, 4. You're going to be joining the basses on that. So it's just make a note of that because that's in your recording. It's recorded that way. But in your music, you just want to take out that tie and know that you are moving down with the basses on that B. Rest, C, B, then back up to the C in the next measure as written there. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure why we decided to do that, but I did decide to do that in the recording. And unless I send you all new recordings, I think that's the way we'll do it. Okay, how about we try that section now, turning on all the parts. I'm going to actually, I'm going to leave the melody going in there, the words. But let's take it from measure 13, top of page 4. And
Can I ask you just one really quick question while we're still
sure.
here? So when we do our second recording and we're singing the melody, when we get to 29, we're going to be singing cross for 4 beats on a C, the cross. So the next 2 measures are rests on the melody. Should we be hopping back down and doing the oohs and ahs in those 2 measures?
You can, if you want to do that, if you feel like on measure 31 that you can jump in smoothly and get your note, go ahead, sopranos and altos, if you want. Otherwise, if you just want to wait until measure 33 and come in on that next phrase, that'd be okay too.
Okay.
Well, who would sing that if they don't hop down there?
Well, it'll be on the other recording.
Yeah, we're doing 2 recordings?
Oh, yeah, got it.
Yeah, we're doing 2 recordings on this. Yeah.
That kind of goes along with my question. Like, say we're doing the recording for the solo part on like measure 19, and then there's like rest. Is it okay to go down and sing "Oh the Wormwood," or do you want us to rest that whole section there?
I would just assume that you know what? Take a rest in that section, measures 21, or I'm sorry.
21 to 24.
Yeah, 21 through 24. Do take a rest there because when I take your track, I kind of want there to be a contrast to that next section. So it'll be a lot easier if you guys take a rest on that.
Same as like up on kind of, I guess, measure 16. Do you want us like when do you want us to stop oohing and then go to the follow to the judgment hall.
Yeah. I would say, okay, so here's what we'll just put it down on paper. On your solo recording, ladies, rest from measures 13 through 16. All right, and then just come in with a solo part, measure 17 through measure 20, and then rest again until the top of page 5. You know, then sing that solo section all the way to cross. And then I think what you ought to do, ignore what I said before about jumping in on the oohs and ahs. Don't do that. Rest until measure 33 when we all come together in that section. And that'll just help me create a little bit of the contrast that a choir would have. Otherwise, you know, that solo section will kind of be all at the same level as everybody else. So does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, basically rest if there's no solo part, and then when there's a solo part, sing the solo part, and then when we do the other part, it's just all soprano then throughout.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, think about measures 13 through measure 32 as being the special section that it's just going to be the solo part on that recording. But when we start the piece, and when you do your solo recording and you start from the beginning, that first section, go ahead and sing the soprano part. You know, just jump out of that into solo mode on pages 4 and 5, and then at the bottom of 5, turn yourself back into a soprano again and sing that soprano part all the way to the end. Okay? So that's how we'll do the roadmap for this one. Let's take it, like I said, let's take this again from measure 13. I'll have all the parts going here. You know, it almost seems like we got to just take this from the beginning because we got to get into this section anyway. So let's do that. Let's take it from the top. All right, so from the beginning.
1, 2, 3, 4, clap.
2-measure intro.
Go to dark Gethsemane, you who feel the tempter's power, your Redeemer's conflict see. Watch with him one bitter hour, turn not from his griefs away. Learn of Jesus Christ to pray. Calvary's mournful mountain climb, there adoring at his feet, mark the miracle of time, God's own sacrifice complete. It is finished, hear him cry. It is finished, hear him cry. It is finished, hear him cry. Hear him cry. Learn blood of Jesus Christ to die.
So we'll be giving this one a couple of weeks. Yeah, I think we'll hold off on this one, for a little bit. We'll talk about it next week as far as announcing the date. So this week, let's do Remember. You can submit two recordings of that. White collar out for Remember. And by Monday morning, 8 o'clock, if I get them by then it all goes pretty quickly with editing. There's some music to pick up at the church when you get a chance. There's All Will Be Well. I'd like to also have that one for Good Friday. Roll Away the Stone. I think a lot of people have that. I think you may all have that in your collections.
Larry,
I have two
Larry,
copies.
I picked up Roll Away the Stone and also Hallelujah, Love is Alive. Now, there's no harmony on the pieces of music I picked up. It's all unison. Is that correct?
Well, Roll Away the Stone we'll need to get you another copy of, because there is a back side that has, for the refrain, harmonies. So you might have gotten the keyboard accompaniments for these songs. Alleluia, Love is Alive, I'm still kind of thinking about that one. I'm not sure about using that one, so I wouldn't sweat it. I know there weren't many copies left. But you Roll Away the Stone, if I can send it to you, I will. I may have a digital copy that I can send to you, Lloyd, so you don't have to make a special trip.
You're saying that there's a harmony to the refrain?
Yes.
Is that on a separate page?
There are some copies that were just like guitar versions that didn't have it, and you might have gotten that version. So,
okay, because what I have has no harmony on it. Okay, if you can send me, that'd be great.
Sure. How's everybody else doing for that? Well, why don't you look for it? If you're missing it, send me an email, and I'll send you a digital copy of it. The other one is Christ the Lord. I think the 1015 people may have sung this at some point, but I don't know if Early Birds had done it. So we'll talk about those next week, but I'll be back in the office tomorrow, and I will check the supply of these pieces. But I think this one and Alleluia, Love is Alive, and Roll Away the Stone, I have digital copies I can send to you if you want to print them off. Otherwise, we're going to work on In These Days of Lenten Journey and Jesus Christ is Risen Today, which is in your hymnals. So next week, we'll get on to that stuff. Yep, thinking ahead about Holy Week and Lent and all of that. That's coming up right around the bend. So, So I held you all over, so I want to let you go. Thank you all for coming out tonight. And we'll see you, if not this weekend, we'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks, Larry.
Thanks.
Have a great night, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good night, everybody. Thanks,
Good
Larry.
night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.